guys, it's Pop Boys here. According to a story circulating in the UFO and alien conspiracy theory blogosphere, a British police sergeant had an encounter with tall white aliens on July 6, 2009. The aliens were allegedly inspecting a freshly made crop circle in a field in Wiltshire, England, when the police officer who was off duty at the time encountered them. The mystery of the incident was reportedly compounded by the refusal of the Wiltshire police to comment when contacted by local UFO and paranormal investigators. A police spokesperson reportedly said the authorities could not comment on the incident because it was a personal matter, according to a paranormal blog, which I will include a link to this story in the description. The unnamed Wiltshire police officer was driving past a field when he, looked up and saw strange-looking men walking in the field. He had a strange feeling about the appearance of the men from afar, so he stopped his car to investigate. As he walked towards the field, he saw three tall men with long blonde hair, all more than 6 feet tall. The men were walking slowly in the middle of the field as if they were searching for something or inspecting the crop. Because the men were dressed in white overalls, he thought they could be forensic officers investigating an incident in the field. When he reached the side of the field, he heard a crackling sound similar to the sound of static electricity. The strange sound seemed to be running through the field, and the crop moved in ripples with the crackling noise. He raised his voice to draw the men's attention, but they seemed to ignore him and refused to look up. But as soon as he entered the field, they looked up and appeared agitated. Now, as the police officer approached, they suddenly began running. And the strange men, according to the officer, ran faster than any man he had ever seen. The police officer was quoted in saying, "I'm no slouch, but they were moving so fast I looked away for a split second, and when I looked back they were gone." The crackling noise continued, spreading around the field as the strange-looking men ran away. The officer noticed they ran with an odd gait to their walk. Unnerved by this strange encounter, he hurried back to his car and drove back to Marlborough in Wiltshire. "I then got scared," he said. "The noise was still around, but I got an uneasy feeling and headed for the car." He reported the incident to his superiors, but they did not take his story seriously. He continued to have an uneasy feeling all day with a pounding headache. "For the rest of the day, I had a pounding headache I couldn't shift," he said. Now determined to get to the bottom of the mystery, he contacted Andrew Russell, a local crop circle expert. Russell investigated the incident with the help of a colleague identified as Colin Andrews. At first he thought they were forensics officers as they were dressed in white coveralls, Russell wrote in a report summarizing the officer's experience. He stopped his car and approached the field. "The figures seemed to be inspecting the crop," he continued. "When he got to the edge of the field, he heard what he believed to be a sound not dissimilar to static electricity. This crackling noise seemed to be running through the field, and the crop was moving gently close to where the noise was," he added. He shouted to the figures, who at first ignored him. When he tried to enter the field, they looked up and began running. Now, the investigators said that they were convinced the officer's account was truthful. "I am quite convinced the officer had an experience that day, and one that we have not fully explored," Russell wrote. According to Russell, the witness's description of the tall men matches the appearance of tall white aliens. The crop circle experts concluded after investigations that the aliens were inspecting crop circle created a few days before. Who made the crop circle remains a mystery. Russell could only guessed the crop circle carried a coded message that the tall white aliens were trying to decode at the time the police officer saw them. When the investigators contacted the Wiltshire Police Department, the authorities refused to comment. Instead, they insisted the incident was a personal matter and that the police authorities were not investigating the strange claims. The incredible story sparked mass discussion on several blogs. According to Waring, the police officers claim that the strange men moved oddly could be explained by the structure of the legs of tall white aliens. Tall white alien legs below the knees have a shape similar to a dog's, Waring claimed. The police officers says that they moved oddly, which they do because the shape of their leg from the knee down actually goes opposite direction from ours, which multiple alien hunters have commented. But according to Waring, tall whites are able to mingle with humans unnoticed because they use advanced technology to disguise their appearance. Some kind of hollow emitter makes their feet appear human-like, but they still cannot mask their odd walk, Waring wrote. Alien conspiracy theorists claim that tall white aliens concluded a trade agreement with the U.S. government in the 1950s. The treaty required the U.S. government to provide certain mineral resources the aliens needed in exchange for access to advanced aerospace technology needed to run Pentagon black projects. It is claimed that a community of tall white alien scientists, engineers, and technicians live in an underground base at the Nellis Air Force Base, a few miles outside Las Vegas.